Hi, welcome back to a little bit of Calm and Crazy. My name is Jennifer, and today I am so excited to share some more Dollar Tree fall DIY projects with you. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you will take a moment and introduce yourself in the comments below. And if you are returning, thank you so much. I am, as always, so appreciative of the time you take to come and watch my videos. Today's video is actually sponsored by Top Cashback. I am so excited because I don't know about you, but I love to make money while shopping online, and that is exactly what Top Cashback is. All you need to do is go create an account, and then after that, every time you go shopping, you just start off on Top Cashback's website, type into the store that you want to shop at, and then it will take you to that store's website and you shop just like normal. I have been getting my kids ready for school, so I have been online shopping like a madwoman. So I have been on Target and Walmart, Old Navy, and Top Cashback has them all. Top Cashback offers some of the largest percentages and gives back 100% of its commission to its members. They have over 4,000 different retailers that they work with, so you are almost guaranteed to find the store that you want on there. So you type in your store, it'll take you to that website, you shop like normal, and you make some money. Doesn't that sound great? So you know I like to shop at Dollar Tree, so that is exactly where I'm gonna take you today. So let's go look and see what Dollar Tree has on their website. So all I have to do is start off on the Top Cashback website. I type in Dollar Tree, and then it will route me over to the Dollar Tree website. Well, when I'm on Dollar Tree's website, I don't want to necessarily always buy in bulk. I like to start off in their pick and pack. There I can find items from like 3 to 6. That is a lot more manageable and a lot less intimidating for me. So all you have to do is in the search bar, type in pick and pack. Here you see the faux wood chargers. These are some of my favorite things at Dollar Tree, and I recently just did a 2-tier tray using faux wood chargers. I think those are such a great find at Dollar Tree. I also really love the galvanized tents with the rope around them. Again, I use these all the time for fall as well as Christmas. I think this is another great find, and I love that you only have to grab 4 of these. I also like to look at what they have seasonally, and this Thankful and Blessed pumpkin would be a really great piece to have, whether you left it the way it is, or in my case, I like to redo things. This has a really great shape, and I could see needing and using more than one of these. So always start in the pick and pack section and scroll through. You can see that there are several options in this area. Not only do I look in pick and pack, I will look around Dollar Tree's website because sometimes I do want things that do come in the higher, larger bulk items, but I always start with pick and pack first. Another tip I have for you is to have your items shipped to the store rather than having it shipped to your home. The reason for this is Dollar Tree's shipping rate can be rather high unless they are running a special. And so just pick your favorite Dollar Tree and have it shipped there. If you are like me and you want to start making money while shopping online, I will have all of Top Cashback's information listed below for you to go check out. There is no minimum as far as payout goes. They are also offering my subscribers $10 once you have spent $25, and that is good up until September 12th. Without further ado, let's jump into these fall DIY projects. For today's project, I chose to use 3 different sizes of pumpkins. So I'm using the Welcome Friends in the smaller one, the Thankful in the chalkboard looking pumpkin, as well as the Thankful and Blessed as my larger pumpkin. I chose the 2 larger ones because they do have those metal leaves, which I will be incorporating into my final product. As always, I will have a complete supply list for you listed below in the description box. I am also using some scrapbook paper that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. I got this for $4. I always suggest waiting on that sale. This was originally 69 cents. I'm going, of course, for a wood grain theme here, and so I picked up 3 different pieces that match that. I also have the metal letters from Dollar Tree, and I will be using the word harvest out of that pack. I'll also be using some Mod Podge in order to adhere the paper to the pumpkins. So to start off, I'm working with my largest pumpkin, and I'm just getting it all prepped. I'm just moving the raffia bow, and I'm going to remove the metal leaf. Now this is a really thin metal leaf, and I'm trying to go in as careful as I can because I do want to replace it. So here I'm going in with a pair of scissors, and I'm trying to go underneath it and get the adhesive off. Now, what I have found with Dollar Tree signs is sometimes some of these are really well attached and sometimes they're not. I happened to get one here that was really well attached. So I just took my time and just kept kind of going around and poking it, and eventually it came up. I did not want to bend my metal or to tear it. It is that thin. I think it would tear the leaf if I wanted to. Once I got my leaf off, I went in and I decided to go ahead and sand off my glitter. It just was a nice, easy, rough sand, nothing too fancy. I could, of course, have used the back of the pumpkin if I wanted to, but I'm using the leaf anyway, so I had to take it off, and I wanted the back of my pumpkin to still look really nice, and I didn't want to have to worry about it, so I went with using the front. Once everything was nice and smooth, I did go in with a thin layer of Mod Podge on the main part of the pumpkin, leaving the stem clear of Mod Podge. And once I had that thin layer all over my pumpkin, then I placed my 12 by 12 paper right on top of my pumpkin, making sure that I covered it up. I did not cut my paper, I did not trim it, I just smoothed it out and set it aside to let it dry and set up. And then I moved on and worked on my next pumpkin. So again, I removed the raffia bow, and this time I'm taking some sandpaper and sanding the leaf and getting most of the paint off. Now I did not get all the paint off that were in the leaf veins. Some of the green is still in those, but I wanted most of the leaf to be more of that silver, more of a neutral color. That was just a personal preference that I wanted. So once I had it all sanded, now it was time to add in its thin coat of Mod Podge and add the paper on top of it and smooth it out. Again, I didn't trim the paper or anything. I just laid it right on top, not worrying about the stem or anything, and set it aside to let it set up and dry. For my smaller pumpkin, again, removing the raffia, and then I have to remove this little sunflower. I also have to go in and remove the burlap that is attached. Now, in the past, I've done this, and where the little orange paint is normally pretty stuck on. Surprising, it wasn't that bad on this one. Again, you never know with the Dollar Tree things. After that, I went in with my craft knife to separate the burlap from that base. It helps if you just kind of slice it a couple of times and then it peels right off. Then I wiggled the base from the pumpkin and it actually popped out pretty well. I just kind of took my time to make sure I didn't rip anything. Took a piece of sandpaper to smooth that edge down a little bit and to also smooth any of where the paint might have been or any of the extra adhesive. I just did a really easy, quick sanding. This was a super fast one to do, especially since that orange paint did not stick like it had done before. But if you do have that problem, don't worry about it. You can sand it. I have dealt with that before. Another thin coat of Mod Podge, and then I go ahead and I place my third paper onto my third pumpkin. Notice that I am positioning it so that I'm wasting as little paper as possible as I'm covering my pumpkin. Once I have my paper on there, again, I smooth it out and I set it aside to let it dry. Once all three of my pumpkins are dried and the Mod Podge has set up, now it is time to trim them out. You can go in with either a pair of scissors, a craft knife, whatever you're the most comfortable with, and just trim right around your pumpkin. I'm just doing a little bit of a loose trim, nothing too fancy right here. If you notice, I have a little bit of the white hanging off. Don't worry about it. I am going to come right back on and I will show you how I fix that in just a moment. So you don't have to be super particular on this point. Just give it a nice rough trim on all three of your pumpkins. After the rough trim, I am going in with a sanding block, and now I'm sanding the edges to get that cleaner, smoother look to make the paper and the edges meld together. I actually watch Megan with Glue Guns and Roses. She does this all the time and swears by this trick, and you know what? She was right. So this is the easiest way. I just like to sand away from the front so that I make sure that none of my paper peels up. And then once in a while, I'll go side to side on some of my parts. But I always like to start front to back first. And as you can see, the paper just peels right off. I do this to all three of my pumpkins, and I love the end results. In order to add a little bit more dimension and texture to my pumpkins, I'm going in with Waverly's chalk paint in white, Waverly's chalk paint in ivory, as well as Waverly's wax and in antique. I'm starting off with Waverly's Wax and Antique, and I'm taking it around the edges of my white pumpkin. I'm having to dab off some of the excess before I even get started, just so I don't have too much on my brush. I'm starting from the outside of the pumpkin and just slightly, with a very light hand, coming in ever so gently so that I don't get too much. I'm also using it to paint the edges of my pumpkin as well, because I definitely want the edges to be the darkest. I want to be very careful with this. I don't want it to come in too much. I just want all the darkness to be on the very outside. I hope that you are seeing what I'm doing, because I am definitely not explaining this very well with words. So here you can see that I am painting the edges with my brush. Once I have this base layer around the edges and I've put the product down and I have very little product on my brush, then I can go in ever so slightly, a little bit more aggressively, because I don't have as much product on my brush, and bring the product in just a little bit more. Once I've finished with this white pumpkin, and now it is time for me to work on my larger and smaller pumpkins, and I'm going in with both the white and the ivory. I do a mixture of the white and the ivory with some water. I just felt like the white was too white and the ivory was too yellow, and I wanted to thin it out because the chalk paint is just so thick. So if you have an acrylic paint, it would probably be a better option. I just actually didn't have the right color of the acrylic paint either, and so this was just the choice that I went with. Once I had the mixture all completed, I painted it just like I actually did with my white pumpkin. I went around my edges and dispersed most of my product there, and then as I got most of my product on the edges, I started coming in onto my pumpkin first. Sometimes I was having to dab a little extra onto my paper, as you can see there, just to make sure that I didn't have too much product onto my brush, and just trying to be very careful that I didn't come too far in onto my pumpkin. I did this both with the larger pumpkin as well as the smaller pumpkin. The difference here is once I painted both of my pumpkins and I let them set aside and dry, I then went back in with a piece of sandpaper, 220, and very lightly I sanded them so that the paint would blend into the paper just a little bit more, and I love how that turned out. I think it looks so good when they blended all together. I also went ahead and I painted the stems. I don't know that it was necessary, but just in case they peeked through, I went ahead and I painted them the same color. To finish off my pumpkins, I am going in with some twine to use on their stems. Both of these twines do come from Dollar Tree. So I'm going in with the white twine on the largest pumpkin. I'm just taking a little bit of hot glue on the back of the stem in order to secure that twine down, and then I just take the twine and I wrap it around the stem in order to cover it up. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You just start wrapping, and then I use some hot glue towards the end in order to make sure that it stays on the stem at the top. I also wanted to go ahead and replace the leaf back onto the pumpkin, so I use a little bit of hot glue onto the back of that in order to secure that back onto the pumpkin and create a bow to cover up that little weird part, or whatever you want to call that. It needed a bow to cover up the top of that leaf. So again, I went in with some twine to create that bow in order to cover that up. I also used the white twine on the smaller pumpkin. Again, the same thing. I used some hot glue to secure it on the back, wrapped it around, and hot glue towards the top in the front. And then I curve it around and I use it to secure it onto the back. And that's how I found is the best way to keep the twine onto the pumpkins. Now I went in with the more natural twine onto the medium pumpkin, and I just had to do a little bit of lacing through where that leaf was, but it still was super easy. And again, the exact same procedure that I did on the other ones in order to secure that twine down. But this time I added the word harvest by using some of the gel super glue that you can get from Dollar Tree. I just dotted that around the word, making sure that I had it in the high points and the low points of the word, and then adding that to the middle of the pumpkin. And I think it turned out so cute. I love these pumpkins. I just love how natural and neutral they are. They're calming to me. I just think they are so beautiful. I hope that you love these too. I want to thank Top Cashback for working with me today. Don't forget to go check them out if you want to earn some money while shopping online. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button and you want to see more budget-friendly DIYs and decor, hit that subscribe button before you go, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!